This is Planet Music.
From the makers of Planet Marzipan.
In a streaming world, we're proud to be a podcast that celebrates the art of the album. Hello and welcome to Planet Music. I'm Meza. I'm here with my good friends.
Craig.
And this is where they both say it at the same time. Oh, I talked over him, Mikey. And
Graham.
Gray.
And Pepper at the minute.
And Pepper the cat. We are here, as you can see from the title of the episode, to talk about Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms, which is an album that has been talked about quite a lot, I think, but we're going to have a go at it. Brothers in Arms was released originally, he says, reading it, on the 17th of May, 1985. How old were you on the 17th of May, 1985, Craig?
Oh, I was the ripe old age of 12.
Oh, God, this is not for you, then, is it, really? Anyway, we're going to plough on. And we will continue with our usual Wikipedia entry. Brothers in Arms is the fifth studio album by the British rock band Dire Straits, released on the 17th of May 1985 by Vertigo Records internationally and Warner Brothers Records in the US. It's the first album in history to sell over 1 million copies in the CD format. Brothers in Arms spent a total of 14 non-consecutive weeks at number one in the UK albums chart, including 10 consecutive weeks between the 18th of January and the 22nd of March, 86. It spent 9 weeks at number one on the Billboard 200 in the US and 34 weeks on the number one slot in the Australian albums chart. It was the first album to be certified 10 times platinum in the UK and is the 8th best-selling album in UK chart history. It is certified 9 times platinum in the US and is one of the world's best-selling albums, having sold more than 30 million copies worldwide. Can you bear those stats in mind when two of my esteemed colleagues talk about this record?
It beggars belief, that really, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Isn't that whether it's true or not? But Mark Knopfler and the band, it says, please stop sending us any more certification discs, please, because we've got too many now.
Probably. He's probably, covered his entire house in them, yeah. Well, I mean, full disclosure, I'm a big Dire Straits fan. I think you are, Gray, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Yeah. And Mikey, not so much?
I tell you what my overriding memory of them was, apart from the obvious singles, was Live Aid.
Yes.
Now, my 11-year-old head probably didn't even register that they were a UK rock band. I always thought they were American.
Really?
And yeah. And I think it was just their style. Didn't really resonate with me back then, to be completely honest with you.
It's weird because he's not from it. He's not a million miles away from you, is he?
Exactly, yeah, north of England. And it's, I mean, I found that out many years later, but back then didn't have a Scooby-Doo clue. And I think for me, I know now that Dire Straits were all about the music, and fame and the rest of it was secondary.
Yeah.
And aesthetics weren't exactly their forte. Now, when I was into pop music in, 84, 85, they didn't fit the remit.
No.
Somebody, with curly mop hair with a bandana strapped around didn't, just... I knew the Well, I'm saying I knew the singles. I knew two of the singles, and you know which ones they are.
Yeah.
Money for Nothing and Walk of Life.
Yeah.
And even, you know what? Even when I started going record buying, which would have been about 88, 89, you couldn't go anywhere without still seeing Brothers in Arms posters or the Money for Nothing hits collection, you know, years later, this it was still the forefront. So they were very much was aware of them, didn't really buy into them, but it's been an interesting visit, this album. It really has.
Good. Craig?
Very similar to Mikey. You know, saw them on Live Aid. You know, you were bombarded on with video play for the singles from this album. And to be fair, I've never minded the singles, but I've always personally, whether for good or ill, for me, I've always thought of Dire Straits with Mark Knopfler being an absolutely fantastic guitarist. But musically, for me, it's just like dad rock, yacht rock kind of, and it's never
Don't say yacht rock.
hugely. Yeah, it's
He
never.
doesn't know what it means,
I
Greg. You're
know.
all right. It's obvious. He doesn't know what
It's
it means.
never really.
It's not yacht rock by any
appealed-
stretch, but you know, that's
But
all
it's
right.
never really appealed to us because
I'll give him dad
it's
rock.
never. Yeah, very dad rock. Yeah. But it's never really appealed to us because it's never had much of a like a bit of an edge to it. It's all been quite. For me, it's just nice, you know, nice guitar solos and nice stuff like that. They've never engaged us. I've enjoyed the singles, but just
Can I just check? You are the man who doesn't like Live Killers by Queen as well, aren't you?
yes,
Yeah.
I am.
There's my evidence, listeners. All right. Take all that with a pinch of salt. Gray, where were you in your Dire Straits fandom when this came out?
So, it had Making Movies and Love Over Gold and was obsessed with Alchemy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Obsessed with Alchemy because it was. Their music is really good on record. It really is. It was amazing. But there was something about that double live album which just took it to another level. And for me, some of those early tracks, the definitive version, are still the ones on that Alchemy set.
Really?
Yeah, I love them. So this is the first album I was really excited about when it came out.
Yeah.
At the time, it was everywhere as well. It was one of those things when as soon as that video hit for Money for Nothing, it just took off. Everything was like, and it was a case of. At the time, I was like, "Yeah, this is brilliant." Listen to it loads. Over time, I still rate it as an album. I still think some of what's on it is phenomenal. It's not my favorite Dire Straits album though, and we'll come to that.
No. I absolutely loved. I liked Making Movies.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely loved and still love to this day Love Over Gold.
Yeah,
Love Over Gold is a top 10 album in my lifetime. It's outstanding. I like Alchemy. It doesn't have the place for me that it has for you because I like it better now because they reissued it in a box set last year and they put the tracks in that they chopped out. So you've got Industrial Disease in there, and I'd love to hear a live version of It Never Rains. Oh, that would just.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah, I totally understand that.
So this following that, because I would say that Love Over Gold is their most proggy album. And this is a change of direction, which we'll talk about. I mean, there are reasons why it's a change of direction.
Yeah.
But they'd had the extended dance play EP off the back of Love Over Gold, which was Twisting by the Pool and, you know, a little bit of a pop thing. And then Knopfler had gone off and done a couple of soundtrack albums. I think he did Cal.
He did Cal and he did
Local Hero, didn't he?
Local Hero, which is an amazing piece of work.
Yeah. And he changed the lineup of the band again. So I think Hal Linder's left at the start of the recording of this.
Yeah.
Jack Sonny came in. And who else? There was another change, wasn't there? But it changed the sound of the band to me. And you would think that bringing collaborators who do instrumental music for films would lean more to the prog side, but they're not.
Tommy Mandel left.
Oh yes, okay.
Tommy Mandel left. Was it Guy Fletcher?
Guy Fletcher, that's who I'm thinking
That's
of.
it,
Yeah, that's it. And so Guy brings a different sound again.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were riding high. I mean, Alchemy is a massive live album, isn't it?
It was huge at the time as
Still is
well.
now, yeah.
And I think it's really interesting to the fact that we both rate Love Over Gold so highly. For me, if you think about it, those first 2 tracks on it as well, your Private Investigations, Telegraph Road, they're just phenomenal things. You know, they are huge slabs of music.
They are.
So good.
But the second side is as good for me.
It
I think
is.
the title track's amazing. And I think It Never Rains just blows my mind every time I hear it.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
It's funny, I've been listening to the Straits quite a bit over the last couple of weeks when we've been working on this. And it's really weird. It Never Rains, actually, is the track of the album that's caught my attention over the last couple of weeks. And I hadn't listened to Love Over Gold for a good few months. And I put it on about 2 weeks ago. And it was almost as if I'd heard It Never Rains for the first time, because it just gripped me.
That riff at the end that just drives through the end of the track is just amazing.
And then, as you say, there's the change. You come to this, and there's some long form tracks on this. Let's not be.
There are,
but they're not the same kind of construction.
You don't get the drama you get in those tracks. You know, they're nice tracks, and melodically they're great, but there isn't the sort of light and shade you've got on Telegraph Road, for example. Or
exactly.
The songs are quite straightforward. They're not like foggy kind of things. They go to A to, they go from A to C via B.
Yeah,
they don't fuck off via F.
Damn, that's what I'm looking for. So they went to start recording at the end of '84, and they went into Air Studios in Montserrat with George Martin.
That's got to be a nice option to have, isn't it?
Well, yeah, at the time, I don't think it's there now, is it? But
it's not. It got destroyed. Is that not the one that got destroyed? Yeah.
I think so. And they started to record the album with the live drummer at the time, Terry Williams. And after about 6 weeks, I think Knopfler listened back to his playing, and Terry Williams himself played everything to a click on those sessions.
Yeah.
And hated it. He couldn't get any feel for anything. So he sent him home. Took his stuff off the album with an odd exception. He's got that drum fill at the beginning of Money for Nothing. But he sent him home.
But look who he replaced him with, though.
Well, you want to say it?
Omar Hakim.
Yeah. Not a bad replacement, is it? It's
not a bad replacement. If you get rid of a drummer because you want a better one, then that's the way to do it.
Was I reading somewhere that they re-recorded all the drums in a matter of days or something? It was done, like really quickly.
Yeah. But also, later on in the sessions, John Illsley fell and broke both his elbows. What? That sounds painful, doesn't it? Jogging? It's pretty intense jogging, that, yeah. So you've got a couple of stellar players, Tony Levin's in there on one track. Who else who's the other bass player on there? Neil Jason.
Neil Jason on One World.
From the Saturday Night Live band. So Neil Jason's on there. And you can tell because the bass playing on One World, which we'll get to it when we talk through it, but it's a slap bass. It's really different. That's kind of where the Straits were and where we were, I think. Two of us not really interested. Two of us quite interested. Shall we go through the album track by track?
Go on then. Why?
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, John. First of all, I've got a bit of information on how the album performed as well. Just the fighters in the charts at the time.
Okay.
To date, Brothers in Arms has spent 273 weeks on the UK album charts. Like you said before, 14 weeks non-consecutively, 2 weeks in May of 85, 2 weeks in July of 85. When it got to number 1 in July, it knocked Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA off the number 1 spot. And it held off 2 quite big albums as well. Whitney Houston's debut album and a-ha's Hunting High and Low, their
Wow.
debut album. It
Yeah,
held both
yeah,
of
yeah.
those big hitters off. Phil Collins, with his No Jacket Required, had already been #1 in March of '85, but he had a massive resurgence in the charts in February of '86. I'm guessing it'll have been more singles pushing the album back into the charts. And he got to #2 while they had their 10-week run.
Some of that might be
In
down
January
to
of '86.
down to Separate Lives came out after No Jacket Required, so you had
Yeah,
and then Easy Lover as well.
yeah. So, and I mean, that had been around in the charts for quite some time as well. So that was Jocelyn, but Brothers in Arms kept him off having a second #1 with the same album.
I mean, it's really strange for an album, to have come out in the May, to have gone up and down a bit and stayed in the top 10 all the way through like Christmas and into January.
Well,
And then,
'cause we're going to talk about the tracks in a minute, and the singles were released not in the order that you think, because So Far Away, track 1 was the first single.
yeah, but it's odd because the getting to #1 in January, and then for it to be their their biggest run of the top 10.
But I think that's linked to the CD players and the boom of CD. So people would have got CD players for Christmas because it was the latest tech. So then you go and buy the album that everybody's talking about, which is part of the success of this thing, I think.
But also it was, 2 weeks after Walk of Life came out as a single, and that did really, really well in the UK for that. So that's probably it's quite odd the way that they did their singles over here, but yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to get you to talk about So Far Away because I've tried 3 times now. So, Craig, what do you think of track 1, So Far Away?
It's one of those. To be fair, I looking at it historically, I think it's really odd for this to have been the lead single from the album compared to what else is on there. And realistically, it really should have been Money for Nothing as the lead single for the album. But it's just odd that they went for this one, and
it might have been what was finished.
Yes,
first. That might have been a factor.
Yeah, but it's an iconic Dire Straits song. It's great, and his vocals seem a little bit different on this, because I kind of find the closest thing I can say about Mark Knopfler's vocals, he's a little bit of a cross between Bob Dylan and Roger Waters, but not as harsh. He's got quite a nice singing voice like that.
Like I say, his ears don't work, folks. I'm sorry.
But yeah. Yeah, it's iconic. It's an iconic riff, and it's good tune.
Okay, Mikey.
Well, you see, I queued up this album thinking I know 2 songs on it. I'm just gonna have to brace myself and just get on with it. And of course, as soon as I heard those opening basses, I was like, I know this, And then obviously that classic guitar line comes in, and I must have thought, my young ears probably thought it was from a previous album. I honestly thought, as a kid, Money for Nothing was the lead single to the album. But, when you're 10, 11, 12, 2 months might as well be 2 years. Time goes by very slowly at that age. I think it's an outstanding piece of work, and it all came flooding back, the memories of it. I kind of half agree with Craig with the Bob Dylan thing, but I'm going to throw Tom Petty into the mix because I think it's got that sort of like speaky, slurry kind of singing style, and I love it. I think it fits the music really well.
Does that more live? Studio, I don't think he's as bad, but live he certainly does speak a lot of the lyrics.
Yeah, but the bass sounds are quite lush and thick.
Yeah.
The drum sounds, the hi-hats and the snares are very sort of sharp and tight. And you've got this beautiful guitar with a steely, that wow, 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 wow kind of sound. I don't know how he does it, but it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And if I've heard this track before, I'll have only have heard the single edit.
Right.
So coming into this album, and obviously we're reviewing the CD version.
Or the CD or
So
the
it's
tape or the cassette version.
or the tape version, yeah. So you're talking like 5 minutes long, so against the single version, which is the version that's on the vinyl cut of it.
Yeah.
You've lost over a minute, and the outros to a lot of the songs on this album, I think, are needed. And I'll come to something else later on when we're talking about Walk of Life, but obviously Walk of Life was the B-side to this single and was never intended to be on the album. Mark Knopfler was like, it's B-side material at best, and that's what it is. And obviously he was, forced to put it on the album. And I think had that not been on the album, those vinyl edits wouldn't have been made. You would have had an 8-track album, 4 tracks, and they would have fitted without the cuts being made.
Weirdly,
And I think that being shoehorned in.
all the songs that have extended versions on the CD are on side one of the vinyl.
Yeah.
So, on
so if you take Walk of Life out,
on the
it would have fit.
cassette, you had nearly 10 minutes of silence at the end of side 2.
Yeah.
You had to spool through to get back to the beginning.
I remember that.
Okay, thanks for that, Mikey. That's cool. Gray, what do you make of So Far Away?
So I love the guitar sound. I love his clean guitar sound, and the riff is great, and it's a really clean sound, really good, really dynamic. The way he plays, everything he does with the guitar, to an extent, is just it's like a masterclass in the style that he plays in. That sort of chicken picking style stuff that he does and what have you. I find the lyrics a bit odd for Dire Straits because he repeats, is it every second line, or is it first and third, or second and fourth in the verse that say so far away from me, so far away from me, and then he's got the repeating chorus with so far away from me of it. So it's like who was it we were talking about repeating lyrics? Was it the Hot Space album we were saying to you, like it's like repeated all the time?
Well, we were talking about the rhythm of the...
Yeah, and it's like, this is like, I quite like the way this is, it's quite a clever way of doing it, because when you read the lyrics, you're like, bloody hell, it's just so far away a lot. But when you listen to the lyrics, and it's like, here I am again in this meat old town, and you're so far away from me. You don't think of it as being force-fed. It's a really clever way of doing it. Yeah. I didn't have the vinyl of this originally, so it was the long versions that I knew. I take it we're going to talk about different versions of releases and stuff towards it later on, are we?
We will do, but if you want to talk about the different versions of tracks as we go, we can.
Yeah, and I think it's like, I don't understand. I understand why they had to do it because of the vinyl limits and what have you, and I think it's the start of the point where people realised they could put more on a CD than an album, and we used to get extra tracks, or we used to get this. Yeah. And I think it's quite nice that, as the person that owned the CD and the cassette, I had the long versions of the tracks. I didn't even know there were shorter versions for ages, because I didn't buy the singles of this. I had the album, but I didn't buy the singles. But I think it's a nice opener. I'm not sure I would have chosen it as the opener for the album, but I'm not sure what I would have put instead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lovely song.
It's an okay song. I found it a bit of a low-key way to ease you into the album.
Exactly.
And after what we'd had before, it was a bit of a disappointment to me. It's an okay track.
I will get that, yeah.
It sounds wonderful, as you've all said. It's fantastically recorded. But it's not a standout for me on this album, I have to say. Okay, on to track 2. Song some of you might have heard of, Money for Nothing. Craig.
It's the iconic song of theirs of the 80s, isn't it? And it's one of the songs that possibly exemplifies the 80s and MTV, obviously, and the amount of radio play this got, it was just absolutely everywhere. I mean, you could be cynical and go, it did for the MTV generation what Queen did for the radio generation with Radio Gaga back in '84, the year before. I think the video has got so much to do with the success of it, obviously.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was early CGI, but quite high tech-ish for the time. There had been a lot more.
Oh yeah, it was groundbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those. I mean, as a song, I mean, would you get away with it now?
No,
With
but do you want to
something-
talk about the lyrics? You did before we recorded.
Well, I think Mikey'd probably want to get stuck in on that. You know,
Okay,
how
gonna let Mikey go there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking the fifth on that
Plead
one.
the fifth. Yeah, go on. You've got to do it, there, Craig.
Well, I just think with how I know if you take it in the context of the song, using the term faggot in there, the context of the song being it's some middle American singing about corporate stuff, and take it up for was it Mark Knopfler was inspired by a guy he'd seen in a shop.
Apparently, it is verbatim what he heard
Yeah.
this guy say. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got some Midwest American, complaining about the fags on TV and all the rock stars and stuff like that. And you look at it in context, it works, but you look at it in a 21st century thing, and language like that isn't generally acceptable. It's a bit like.
Can I raise a point though?
Yeah,
It's interesting that this song gets away with it, and it's still played in its entirety. It's not edited out. It's not changed at all, and yet "Christmas in New York" doesn't get played with the word in it. It's got it in once.
Well, the single version
Fairy
doesn't
Tale of
include
the
New
single
that verse,
version
though,
doesn't
does it?
include it. No.
You mean Fairy Tale
So-
of New York?
Fairy Tale in New York, yeah.
It's slightly more stronger worded, I might say, but I don't know. No, I think as the boys have said though, the single edit doesn't have it.
It doesn't have it in, yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have it in, and I think it's it's funny that Sting being on and his I want my MTV is everybody knows it. Whether you know Dire Straits or not, you've heard that refrain, and it's quite funny how Virgin managed to blag royalty rights for the
There's
song.
quite a good article in the new 40th anniversary edition where it talks about Sting and his involvement, and he was on the island and they went to get him. They requested him to come and
But
do
you know,
it.
you know why?
It's sung to the tune of "Don't Stand So
Don't
Close
stand
to
so
Me."
close to me, yeah.
And that's why and that's why Mark Knopfler gave him the credit.
Yeah.
It's not because he's singing on it. It's because he was it an advert, a TV advert for MTV, where the police were playing it, and he said that made him think of the "I Want My MTV" lyric, and he did it to the police's "Don't Stand So Close to Me" because he'd seen the advert.
Yeah.
So because it's weird, because initially I thought why has Sting got the credit, because I know he's singing on it, but he's not written the lyric. But then when you find out it's based on that police track, yeah, okay.
But as a track, it's iconic, and that guitar riff, everybody knows it. And you can't, as much as whether you like Dire Straits or not, it's just it's one of the possibly top 10 songs of the 80s that exemplifies the 80s.
Okay, Mikey, follow that.
Follow that, right? So obviously, I'd only heard the single version. So when it came to playing this album version, which is literally double the length, I was like, I have found a long lost 12-inch version of this record. It was amazing. But when I heard those extra lyrics, I was a bit taken aback. I was like, all right, okay. Didn't bother me. Doesn't bother me the slightest. In the same way that Fairy Tale in New York doesn't bother me at all. But I can see why some people do, and they have done for a lot of years. And things move on, things change. We don't have certain things on the side of marmalade jars anymore. So times they are changing. I tell you the funny thing is I remember when I was watching Live Aid as a wee kid, because I was sat with my gran at the time. I thought, oh, isn't it nice how they've got Sting on to sing that bit? I didn't have a clue, didn't have the foggiest that it was actually him on the record.
Okay.
And obviously I'd already heard like the single version, and I thought, well, why is he singing that "I Want My MTV" over and over again? It's like 4 times or whatever it is. And of course, it's the album version they're playing at Live Aid, you know. So yeah, I found a newfound love for it because it is a completely different beast when you hear 8 minutes plus of this song. It's the intro with all those rattling drums and all the sound effects going on. It's the stuff Pink Floyd would be jealous of. It is outstanding. And that rip-roaring guitar work when it breaks into the song, like you say, it's iconic. There's nothing that needs to be said about it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, hats off to them. It's an all-time classic. I mean, my dad loved it, so and it got played to death in the house. Whenever it was on the TV, that was it. It was on, you know. So yeah. I've never not liked the song. But it's like I say, if you haven't heard this 8 minute 22 version of it, you've got to, because it's a different beast altogether.
Yeah, speaking of a different beast, the lyrics of "banging on bongos like a chimpanzee."
Yeah.
No. Yeah, move along.
Apist. Great.
So I love it. I mean, obviously, I had MTV at the time, so the video was all over the place. The guitar sounds amazing, but we nearly didn't get the song. You know what I mean? There was a failure on the digital tape machine. They lost all the recordings. They had to redo it. Knopfler couldn't find a guitar sound that he wanted. He wanted to sound like Billy Gibbons and just couldn't get it right. And am I right in thinking it was a microphone had fallen off the clip and fallen down to a different position on the speaker cabinet? And that's how. And when they went to record it, they hadn't noticed it. It made that very distinct sound. And that was how it happened. So it was like a mistake that gave him the sound that he wanted, and it is quite a distinctive sound. Like kind of a sort of chainsaw type guitar sound, rippy.
He did say that he wanted it to sound a little bit ZZ Top, didn't he?
Yeah, Billy Gibbons. Yeah.
Well, he did. Apparently, he got in touch with Billy Gibbons, and Billy Gibbons didn't tell him anything of any worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he'd said about that is one mic was pointing down at the floor, another was not quite on the speaker, another was somewhere else, and it wasn't how we wanted to set things up. It was probably just left from the night before when he'd been preparing things for the next day and not really finished the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the assistant went to change it, and he went, "No, leave it where it is. Thank you very much."
Well, I like that. Oh, I do.
But overall, it's an amazing song, and like I said, for me, although you'd hear the single version on the radio and what have you, I had the long version of it on the album. It was the version that I knew, so it's the one that I'm comfortable with, and it is amazing. It really is, with that the long form intro that builds and builds and builds, and then you just get that rip roaring guitar part comes in.
Yeah.
And I've spent years trying to get that sound right myself. I can play the notes, but I just can't get the sound right. It's like bugger. But yeah, it's great. And it's a fun track. To me, it wasn't a Dire Straits track.
It doesn't. That's the thing about that guitar sound. It's very distinctive, but it's not a Straits sound, is it?
No, it's not. And for me, that's what I'm saying. For me, it wasn't a Dire Straits track.
Yeah.
It was a rock track that they were playing. Kind of weird way of putting it, I suppose.
I mean, the single was only 6 weeks after So Far Away, so this was out in May, so very close to the album.
Yeah.
It's an iconic track, isn't it? I mean, for a lot of people, this is Dire Straits.
Yes.
This track.
Very much so.
But it isn't for me. I mean, I like the track. It's a great place on it, you know. For me, the album hasn't really started yet.
No. It's not in my top 3 tracks on the album.
Yeah.
It's not in my top 3 tracks in the album. I'll tell you that much.
But Money for Nothing certainly did the band a lot of favours. I used to be, not so much now. I'm a huge Sting and Police fan, so it was great to see him there. But, you know, I can't add anything to what you guys have already said about it. Track 3, another one that Craig will know, Walk of Life.
Yay! Now this was the third single in America, but the fourth single in the UK. And this was the one that actually got the highest chart position in the UK for, I think, didn't it? And it's got like number 2 or something, whereas Walk of Life. So Money for Nothing got
Yeah.
number 4. So
Oh, I've got
this,
something to say about that.
yeah. So this came out in October in America, but this didn't come out until January '86 over here. So, first week of the new year chart, and it did really, really well. And it's a really upbeat song, isn't it? It's musically, and it's you can see it as quite a fun song, song about, buskers and people making music, and people's appreciation and love for music while they're living in the moment and enjoying the music. And that, yeah, I think it's, yeah, absolutely cracking song. And it's just odd that this one was the bigger hit chart wise from the album.
I think we've already alluded to it. That I don't think that Knopfler had a lot of faith in this track, did he?
Can I put something forward in that? So it's interesting. So, Craig, you mentioned earlier on about, and in fact, both Craig and Mikey both said Dire Straits wasn't on your radar because it didn't fit the pop thing at the time. But this did really, really well, this song of the lot. And I think it's because for me, this is a throwaway track. I know it's
Yeah,
a throwaway
I think
track.
it's a crossover. It's a crossover song.
Yeah, it's not.
This is very much like Twisting by the Pool for me. It's just like, it's a bit of a rock and roll pastiche type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what the appeal is for lots of people.
And that's why I think it became so famous, because there's loads of people that like that kind of rockabilly swing style and all that kind of stuff, and it's got that in spades. Don't get me wrong, the guitar playing's phenomenal. It's really, it is well done. I despise some of the sounds on the song. Some of it's very twee. But I can see why it would be successful. But for me, I could have done without it on the album.
Mikey?
See, I've always loved this, and I think that's exactly what you said, Graham. It's this fitted my pop sensibility at the time, and I think a lot of it had to do with one of the videos that was made for it, because obviously there was that one which was intercut with all the sports bloopers, which was the one that we primarily saw on MTV and Music Channel and stuff like that. Now, what I didn't know until literally last week was there was actually 2 videos made for it.
Yeah.
And the other video was actually filmed in the pedestrian Tyne Tunnel up here in the north.
All right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's cheesy as hell, and it doesn't really fit the song, but you get the busker character in it. And I've never really paid much attention to the lyrics, but I love the fact that it actually references all these sort of like rock and roll bluesy rockabilly tracks, like Bebop Aluba and Jack the Knife and stuff like that. I had no idea of the context of the song. I just knew that back in 1985, I really quite liked it.
Is that the image on the single cover? Sorry, the tunnel.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're giving us flashbacks to the pedestrian Tyne Tunnel now, walking down those stairs up walking up the other side of London for the bugger.
So yeah, if I was to compile a now that's what I call line dancing album, this would be side 1, track 1. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. My only chagrin is between this song and a-ha's "The Sun Always Shines on TV." They both knocked Pet Shop Boys' West End Girls off the #1 spot in the charts and knocked it down to number 3. And actually, funnily enough, I was watching something on YouTube the other day. And literally in between the videos, there's a new British gas advert out, and it's got Walk of Life instrumental version playing in the background. I'm like, you can't make it up. You literally can't make it up. We're literally just doing the homework to review this album, and that crops up. Now, as much as I love this track, now that I've listened to the album in its entirety, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And maybe it should have been a standalone single. It can't have been left as a B-side because of the success that it became. And obviously, this got to number 2 in the January of '86, and it created that third run of number 1 spot for the album. And it stayed there for 10 weeks. So, obviously a lot of people jumped on this and liked it. So does it reflect the album? No, it doesn't. Is it a good song? Yes, it is. And that's where I sit with it.
Yeah, how many albums could you say that the 4th release was going to be the biggest kind of crossover single? Just generally doesn't happen.
No, don't know. I mean, it's funny. Some songs just hit and some don't, do they? I mean, I can't say I would ever choose to play Walk of Life in any world. If it's on an live album, I'll sit through it. The album really starts with the next track for me. There's nothing. These are okay. I mean, they're the big hits, but the songs of real sort of quality are about to start with the next track. So track 4, Craig, starts with a trumpet. And
it starts with a trumpet and goes on to a saxophone.
Yes, your latest trick.
This is so of its time. It's got like mid-80s. It's got mid-80s stamped all over it, hasn't it?
There's a lot of saxophone in it, but
yeah, it is. And to me, this doesn't really sound in my head what a Dire Straits song would sound like. It's quite different considering it's like you say, sax led, but yeah, very of its time. And it was actually the 5th single of the album, which got to number 26 in the chart. And it's one of those things because you listen to it and it sounds familiar for some reason, even though I've never really played the album much. It just had such a familiar feel to it, and can't say that I particularly remember hearing it on the radio or like on YouTube or anything like that. But it's okay. Go on, Mikey, get stuck
in. Yeah, it's another one of those songs that I thought I didn't know, and I think I've got an inkling of a memory of it. But like Craig, if you'd asked me to, name a single off Brothers in Arms, this wouldn't have been one of them. Hats off to them for donating all the royalties for the sale of the single to the Great Ormond Street Hospital, though. I was quite impressed to see that plastered all over the single covers when I was checking them out on Discogs. And again, it's another one of those ones that was trimmed quite heavily, wasn't it, for the single version? Because the trumpet at the start, which it goes on for about a minute, is completely cut out for the single edit, which is a shame because I think it needs that before it goes to the saxophone. Because they're playing off on each other. Is it the brothers? Are they the sax and the player?
It's the Brecker brothers, isn't it? So
yeah.
Randy plays the trumpet and Michael plays the sax.
Yeah, I'm guessing this was just one of those record company just milking the album for whatever it had left in it. Squeeze the last bits of juice out because the 2 B-sides were just Mark Knopfler compositions. There weren't even Dire Straits ones. And I don't know. I don't dislike it, but I think it's just a little bit heavy on the brass for my liking. I'm not a great saxophone lover, but I adore the trumpet on it, and I think that's why I'm a bit peeved that they actually cut that off. But it's got a very lounge kind of feel to it, and dare I say, a bit Noel Cowardy. I don't know. That's just where my head's going with it. Don't dislike it. Don't love it. I think it's very middle of the road for me.
Graham, talk to me, please.
So it's the first Dire Straits track of the album.
It is. It's the first time that Knopfler sounds like himself.
Yeah. And it's interesting. So Craig said it's very of its time, but Mikey went, it's a bit loungy. It is. It's got that lounge lizard stuff. But if you listen to this stuff that he's written previously, because of his history, the way he played, the band, the stuff, the music he played beforehand, allowed sort of playing in clubs and bars and pubs and stuff, and that it's got that feel to it. It's like it's the jaded musician telling a story. It's the end of the night, all this stuff that's going on, and all the things that are happening. It is gorgeous.
It is.
It is absolutely gorgeous. I think Mikey's right. The trumpet at the start is essential because there's a tired feeling to it, the way it's played.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my
End
God.
of the night.
Like, yeah. And then the saxophone kicks in, and it's almost as if the song's like, hang on a minute, and gets alive when it kicks in. The hairs are standing up just even thinking about that way that happens.
I think you need that after Walk of Life, after the 3 tracks that have preceded it. The trumpet is like, okay, this is something different now.
Yeah, I think it's great, and the lyrics are, I love is it the last sort of 2 verses, the last verse bit where he goes, well, it's now past last call for alcohol. Past recall has been here and gone. The landlord, he finally paid us all. The satin jazz men have put away their home. And it's that tired musician thing. It's just really good. I love it.
Yeah. I agree with Gray on this. This is Dire Straits. This is what I was wanting from the first tracks on the album and not getting. It's 6:33 on the CD and 4:46 on the vinyl. So there's an extra 2 minutes, which is just a gorgeous late night track.
Yeah.
And Knopfler sounds like himself. It's like,
Yeah. I do think there is a little bit more to his voice on this album. There's a clarity, and he sings a little bit. He sings in all the albums, but I don't know if there's a little bit more melody in places on some of this. I don't know, because there's a bit of a difference to the way he delivers on the album. But I think if you listen to the live tracks and stuff, it's very much he does it the way he always does.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was a conscious thing.
With something as sparse as this track and the next track, with your latest trick, it's quite a sparse track, so he has to sing it. It has to be a melody. He can't do his drawl. It wouldn't work. He can't do private investigations on this.
Yeah, what I was thinking when we go on to the next track, I think with Why Worry, his vocal, his singing style changes a bit, and he's like just more in harmonies. There's more harmonies and things and stuff in with it, so it's
a fuller sound is Why Worry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go on to that, Craig. Now you brought it up. Track 5, Why Worry?
Yeah, it's like a comforting, like lullaby, lush kind of tune. It's a nice. I'd say it's a nice tune. I think he's got more harmony in this song than there's anything on the album. It just seems to have a different feel to it, and I think the guitar work on this is sublime. It's really nice.
Cool. Mikey?
Sublime is the correct word. This is by a country mile my standout favorite track on the album.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. And another travesty that 3 minutes of it were cut for the vinyl version. Absolute travesty. Not that I've heard it, not that I want to hear it, because 8 minutes 31 is absolute perfection for this track. The sentiment of the lyrics matched with this shiny, optimistic, hopeful feeling music is just beautiful. Like Craig said, the guitar work is just masterful at best. I think it's just astounding. And I'm no guitar aficionado. I like a good guitar solo in a lot of music. But this is just, honestly, it just knocked spots in it. This was the one that got me hairs on my arm standing on edge. I mean, you've got 4 minutes of song, 4 minutes of play out.
Yeah.
At the 6 minute point, you've got these drums kicking in, which just take the track to another level.
Yeah.
And I think the the vocal delivery, and I don't know if it's a backing vocal or whether he's double tracked himself, but it's almost like a Simon and Garfunkel type payoff. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. And this, like so many on this podcast that we've reviewed so far, this is one of those tracks that I'm kicking myself about. Like, why have I waited until I'm 52-year old to hear this song? Absolute wonderful stuff.
Well, it's not a wasted hour, folks, because Mikey's discovered Why Worry. That's brilliant news. Gray, talk to me about Why Worry.
So, initially, I didn't like this album this song when the album came out.
What?
Bear with me.
I am.
And I think it was because it came after Your Latest Trick.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't because it's not good. It was just because I was so taken with Your Latest Trick. I went, oh, right. Is that how they're following it? However, as the years have gone on, it's earned its own place. It is absolute gold dust. It's interesting, though, because Your Latest Trick is it is a very Martin Knopfler story type lyric. It's, it tells a story, walks through things. This is quite a childish lyric, the way it's written. I don't get the sentiment.
I take it more from a parental angle.
Yes. And so it's written in that kind of childish, poetic way. So if you look at the ends of the verses, not the thing, so it's sad, bad, say, tears, fears, grey, you do say, cold, gold, way. It's that kind of, how children write poetry to rhyme at the end and have a link throughout.
Yeah.
And I think it fits the lullaby sentiment of the song. That kind of, is it a lullaby or a lament? I'm not sure which one it is, because it's quite a sad. It makes me sad to see you sad, but we have to be sad to get the happiness at the end of the. There's a goal at the end of the rainbow and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But what comes after the song, so after the lyrics, the instrumental bit, is just gold. It's just utterly gorgeous. From start to finish. Yeah. So. It's pay dirt for was it the end of side one, I think?
It is the last track of side one, yeah, on the vinyl. But obviously that's the short version.
That's the short version. And then obviously on the cassette it was...
Without the instrumental coda. It was the last track on side one on the cassette as well.
So, yeah.
That's the long version, yeah.
It's beautiful. But for Mikey, just if you are interested in vinyl, there is a double vinyl anniversary set which has the full versions on it. Not the 40th anniversary. Right. For some reason, they've gone back to a single disc version. Well, but there is a double LP.
40 minutes to complain about that. You've complained to us about it offline before, so
yeah.
I have to say, I agree with Mikey. This is the best track on the entire record for me. I know what you're going to say, Gray. There are other things coming up which are great, but this is the best track on the record.
Each to their own.
It's absolutely stunning. It's everything that Walk of Life isn't. It's got depth. It's got emotion. It sonically sounds fantastic. It's what the CD player was made for.
Before we go into side two or the next hit, can I just pick up on that point?
Yes.
So it's interesting. So for those of you that do go through the Wikipedia thing and look at it and stuff, there's the story about this being the first fully digitally recorded album. And in Wikipedia it says this, but it's not true, because there was digitally recorded albums in the 70s, and it's not the fact it was the first digitally recorded album. It's the fact that it was the first fully digitally produced CD. For those of us that are old enough to remember when the CDs first came out, you had the DDD or the ADD or the DAD at the back. Yeah. And it was recorded, transferred, and recorded, mastered, and transferred was the process. So this was the first one where all three of those were D, because it was digitally recorded, digitally mastered, then digitally transferred. So yeah, it was a huge thing. I just want to set that right because Wikipedia is wrong.
Well, it was a big selling point, wasn't it? I mean,
it was.
We talk about the legacy album at the end. I'm sure we'll come back to this.
Yeah.
Flipping the record over onto side.
Actually, speaking of just one thing we see the CDs, I think Walk of Life? I think it was Walk of Life. There's one of these that was actually the first ever CD single as well from this album.
Really?
Yeah.
Might need to check that.
I'm checking now.
Yeah.
Side 2.
And while
track
you
track
do
6,
check
Craig.
that, I've just got one more thing to say.
Oh.
There was, I forgot to mention it. There was a fish song. That Why Worry reminded me of. Rites of Passage. And I think it was just the sentiment, and how Rites of Passage plays out with this long instrumental bit at the end. I know it's a million miles apart musically, but it just struck a chord with me, and kind of, my mind went straight to that fish song as soon as I heard this, which I adore Rites of Passion as well, by the way. Sorry, flip your record.
I'm not saying it again.
Okay, Craig.
Uh-huh.
The first commercially available CD single was John Martin's Angeline in 1986. Brothers in Arms was released as a promotion-only CD single in 1985.
Right. So it was, but it wasn't then. So yes, the next track, John, you've been trying to push on to. Ride Across the River. It's the first of a trio of war and military themed songs. And this is by far one of my favorite tracks on the album. Yeah, I like it because musically it's a little bit more complex. It's a more complex rhythm. I like trying to figure out what it's trying to say, because to me lyrically it's very much like a soldier of fortune or mercenary kind of song. Musically it's got very South American themes with like a keyboard panpipe effects and stuff like that. So is it, all the stuff that was happening at the time with the Nicaraguan situation and Oliver North and all the rest of it going on over there? But it's also got like African drums and things and stuff into it. So problems in Africa at the time. So I think it's multi-themed that way on, but I do feel with those kind of themes, it's definitely more of a soldier of fortune or mercenary kind of stuff in that as well. But I really like this track. Really like this track.
Okay. Mikey?
My trite review of this is it's panpipe moods meets UB40. My not trite review of it is it's a very, very eclectic but brooding and interesting track. It's got a sense of uneasiness, which I think is obviously musically has got a sense of uneasiness, which matches the lyrics perfectly, I think. There's a solo that comes in 2 minutes into the track, guitar solo, sorry. And then that goes into trumpets. And then at about the 3 minute mark, you've got all these jungle noises going off in the background. And then it goes really, really heavy in about 5 minutes. And for the last 2 minutes, you've got all these like weird feedback, eerie guitar sounds. It just goes off in so many different trajectories. I don't think it knows quite where it wants to hit. But I quite like the reggae beats to it. It's very, very interesting musically. Again, it's one of those middle of the road tracks for me on the album. Don't dislike it, don't love it.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I love it. I do wonder sometimes at his delivery. Sometimes it's got a bit of Fisher's Island patois to it.
Yeah, I'm a soldier of fortune. I'm a dog of war.
Yeah.
No.
So, but pick it up on the lyrics. It's very much so Mikey's, it starts one way, it changes, it does something else, and then it gets dark and it gets heavy. I think that's the whole premise of the song. Because if you read the lyrics, the first verse is, I'm a soldier of fortune. No, sorry, I'm a soldier of freedom in the army of man. And there's a righteousness to it, and there's a positivity to it. Then it's, I'm a soldier of fortune, I'm a dog of war. Now, that dogs of war are mercenaries. We don't give a damn who the killing's for, so we're doing it just for the sake of it. And then the next one is, nothing's going to stop them as the day follows the night. Right becomes wrong, left becomes right. So you've lost all direction. You're doing it for the hell of it, and war becomes eternal. And like today in the mountains, tomorrow the world. So there is a progression through the song. If you start off thinking that you're doing it for the right reasons, and then you fight war for the sake of war. So the song, the music kind of follows that. And I think it's a brilliant track. I love the way it's delivered. There are the slight accent things. I'm like, a bit close to the bone sometimes. But the music production on it is amazing. Absolutely brilliant. It is a little bit all over the place, but I think that fits with the journey of the lyric.
I did like one of the lyric lines in it because it says it's the same old story with a different name, and I just thought, with what's going on in the world right now,
Yeah, very much so.
it's
Death
on
or
the
Glory
nose,
is
isn't
the
it?
killing game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've read somewhere that riding across the river is the point of no return. It's where you're going from being a righteous soldier to being somebody that's doing it for the wrong reasons. So it's that kind of tipping point of like you're on the side of good and right, and then you just somebody who's got a gun.
Okay. I've never been a big fan of this track, if I'm honest. I mean, we've recently got the Super Deluxe Edition Blu-ray with the Atmos mix on it, which does open it up somewhat. I can't believe they started the shows with this.
Yeah, that's an odd
On
decision.
this tour, they started the shows with this track. I don't get that at all. Interesting to hear your take on it, Greg, because obviously you're from a military background and you can sort of shine a slightly different light on this that I've not really considered before. I think the COD reggae thing is probably the thing I don't like about it the most.
I totally understand that.
It's an atmospheric track, but if I compare it to the last two, it's not, or even the next one, it's just not a patch on those.
No, it's not.
Track 7, Craig, is The Man's Too Strong.
I actually prefer the previous track to this one. This is the second of the war themed ones. It's acoustic based to begin with. It was depicting a character who's like a war criminal, or an old soldier, the fear of showing his feelings and fear of showing what's been going on. It's very, very pertinent to people and politicians and generals and everything what's going on in the world now. It's a universal theme. Yeah, I don't think they say it's not the strongest one on the album. I think it's interesting because some of the chords that they use on it are made to sound like gunshots or something. Are they done as an effect that way on?
I've written something similar down, which is like the chords when they come in are very hard hitting. They're like, smack. I think they're meant to be a jarring, sort of like, oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's very angry sounding.
The first two are really loud.
Yeah.
And then as the song goes on, the chords come in and get quieter weirdly.
It's also right. you get the two loud, so it's down, 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 and then the second noise is actually a sample, not a guitar chord. So you got the guitar chord that comes in really strong, and then the gunshot is a sample. It's not a gunshot, but it's some effect.
The reverb type thing. Yeah. Mikey?
I quite like the bluesy feel to this. And I'm much side 2 starts here for me. I think once you've parked that first one as a bit of an experimental track. Again, I love is it the steel guitar he's got on this? Because it's
the National.
If it's not, it's just so the twanginess just blends perfectly. It's great storytelling. I had to jot some of the lyrics down here. I spat like a woman and I sulked like a child. I have lived behind walls that have made me alone, striven for peace, which I have never known. And you kind of think of like, I don't know, I was thinking like dictators, like these ones that are in this position, they've never known peace, they've always been at war, I could be completely wrong and reading into it the wrong way, but and there's plenty of despots and that we've known through our lives and still exist now. Regime changes ain't always the easiest way to go about things, but I think there's the hard-hitting storytelling part of this song actually hit me more than the music did, but they both kind of play with each other. I think it's a soundtrack, I really do.
Yeah, cool. Ray?
One of my favourite songs on the album. And I'm not sure if it's because of the lyrical content. I mean, the lyrics are stunning. I've read somewhere that somebody says that it's kind of based on, some of it's based on things like despots and dictators, and there's a sort of Nazi Germany history vibe to some of it, which I hadn't considered. But look at the I've legalized robbery and called it relief, run with the money and hid like a thief, rewritten histories with armies and my crooks, invented memories, I did burn all the books.
That's happening exactly.
I'm not going to say, oh yeah, we're not getting dragged into that. So, but as Mikey says, that piece there, I've hid beyond walls that have made me alone, striven for peace, which I have never known. It's just, which I never have known. And I love his delivery. There's a kind of plaintive sadness to the way he does the lyrics. I loved the stereo version. It's always been one of the high points in the album for me. That, especially that, the man's too big, the man's too strong. It's just huge. I had massive hopes for the Atmos version.
Even bigger on there.
Oh, I've got it.
It's bloody loud, isn't it? In the back
it's too bloody loud.
Too loud, yeah.
And I was like, hopefully they get it right, because it could be just immense. It blows you away. It just takes everything else from the song off.
Blows your head off, yeah.
Really disappointed, but actually.
Sorry, we're talking about the Atmos mix on the Blu-ray, but we will come back to that because it's not for now.
Yeah.
I think The Man's Too Strong. I think I agree with Mike. It's probably where side 2 kicks off for me. Great lyric. Compare that to Walk of Life. You're not comparing eggs with eggs, are you, really? It's a great track. The next 3, well, this one and the next 2 are a fantastic way to end the record. Track 8 is One World, Craig.
I thought the bass work on this is very level 42.
It's amazing. It's a slap bass on this is amazing.
Yeah, I thought if they just dragged Mark King out to say, yeah, quick play, look it off. It's I mean, it's like I said, but it's very, very 80s. I mean, the guitar work on this track is absolutely fantastic as well. It's really good. The only thing I would say, it seriously suffers with an absolutely crap fade out.
Okay.
Yeah.
It needed
just quick, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it needed. It could have. The track could have done with an extra couple of minutes to breathe.
Yeah. I think they probably faded it out because of the length of the final track, but.
What I was thinking, some epic. Do you think?
Reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Go on, Mikey.
My sentiments are quite similar to yours, Craig. To be quite honest with you, it's a lighter feel than the track that's been, and the one that's coming, and I think that's needed to bridge the gap between the two songs. It's definitely more funky. It's still blues, but it's a funkier side to it. So I hadn't really thought about the level 42 connection, but I can see it now. But it's definitely a more poppier number, one of the, without being crassly poppy like side 1 is. There's a brilliant line in it which goes, "There's no such thing as sanity, and that's the sanest fact." I love that. I think that's absolutely brilliant. I love this. I think it's, again, it's very lazy to say that there's fantastic guitar work in it, but there is.
On a Dire Straits record? What?
But there's fantastic guitar work throughout the entire album, even on Walk of Life. Walk of Life suffers from its keyboard sounds, I think, but this is pulled apart, yet still strides that pop angle, and I think it works really well.
Ray?
I think it's the antidote to the 3 songs on the album, the other 3 songs on that side. So you've got Ride Across the River, Man's Too Strong, and the title track are all about war, whereas this is about unity and about, it's all, I mean, I say it's about unity, but it's about the craziness of man. You know what I mean? Like that very lyric that you were talking about, so there's no such thing as sanity. but although it's about unity, it's also a kind of a plaintive cry for what the hell's going on, but done in a really light way. The only thing about the track that irks me is the kind of fairground pipe organ keyboard sound. Sometimes it really grates. I don't know why. You know that little the bit that, where does it come out at the end of the chorus? Is it? I'll have to listen to it again and think about it. But there's a refrain on the keyboard just annoys the shit out of me, and I don't know why. It just does compared to the rest of the song. But I think it's needed. We've said this a few times about albums that we've listened to where you've got some really dark content, some really forceful content. You know there's more coming, so you need something in between to go, right, okay, let's give you a bit of a breather. But it's a beautiful breather. I think this, for me, side two this album is the better of the two.
Absolutely, yeah.
Although this is probably the third of the four in the tracks.
Okay, I like One World. I think it's good, and I think you would you'd never have got John Illsley playing the bass like this. So Neil Jason's bass is quite a big part of the sound of this track. That bass lick, and it moves along. You know, if you compare that to Ride Across the River, this has got some pace and lightens the mood a little bit before the real darkness that we're coming into. I think it's a good track. I think it, you know, like the previous two tracks, it's kind of, you know, it's very much of you could apply the lyrics to now. You know, I'm going, can't get no remedy on my TV. It's nothing but the same old news. Well, they can't find a way to be one world in harmony. Can't get no antidote for the blues. Fits now, doesn't it, really? Okay, we're going to let Craig loose on the title track, Brothers in Arms.
The big finisher.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it is my favourite song on the album. But
and there it is.
Sorry, I was looking at something. I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, it's my favourite track on the album. It's an epic, really. It's just so, you know, it was written a few years before, wasn't it? For after the Falklands conflict, and it's very like melancholy sound, very world weary, rather than an anti-war rant. It's a beautiful song. You know, it gets you in the feels, and I just love it's at the end with the Hammond organ and the guitar like solo fade out and stuff like that. It's a piece of art, and it's one of those songs that means so much to so many people. I personally myself, even though I do love it, I just wish it had a bit more of a bite to it. But that's just me.
Mikey?
This is another one of those ones that I thought I didn't know and quickly realised I did know. And I know for a fact that I knew somebody who had the Money for Nothing hits collection and had played this. So again, I was already privy to the 4.5, 5 minute version of it. And I've been introduced to this whole 7 minute version, which again, I think is an essential listen for this track to be enjoyed in its fullest. It's got wonderful Celtic notes drifting through it, which I think are absolutely wonderful. And I kind of pictured either Dave Gilmour or Eric Clapton sitting having the breakfast and spitting the Rice Krispies out when they heard the guitar solos at the end, because they must have been jealous. It's absolutely astounding work yet again. And like Craig said, the Hammond organs just work beautifully as well towards the end. The 2 minute outro for me at the end of it is the best part of the song for me. It's just wonderful. And hats off to the video director for this song, who was Bill Mather or Mather. Don't know how it was pronounced. He won a Grammy Award for that video, which is the black and white montagey heavy animation.
It was rotoscoped on, just
wonderful.
Yeah, it was rotoscoped on like they did with that Lord of the Rings film, and a bit like,
Yeah,
Take On Me kind of thing. Yeah, it's really good.
absolutely. It just perfection, and it rounds the album off beautifully. It really is. Second favorite track on the album.
Okay. Come on then, Graham.
Second favourite track on the album. Obviously, my favourite is slightly different, but it's the second. I say, it's amazing. I think, if I remember rightly, he wrote the lyrics in 1982 during the Falklands War, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. The mist-covered mountains are a home now for me, but my home is in the lowlands and always will be. Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battle retires. So it's like, it's really quite a moving lyric and a moving song, and it builds and builds and builds throughout. And so, as Craig said, that combination of the slightly distorted, overdriven, Hammond organ building and building, with the guitar builds up over the end, and the solos at the end are worthy of anyone that you've mentioned. They're fantastic. It's a really great way to finish the album. I have got a conspiracy theory, but I'll save that till after you've given your talk about what you think of the song. It's an amazing piece of music, and it deserves to be the title track. It is just phenomenal for me.
Yeah.
See, it was he did a cover version of it himself, didn't he? He did for as a charity single in 2007.
Yeah. I think it's a fantastic track. It really is. Pretty much what you've all said. The way it builds, it's a great way to leave this record as well. It's a real end of an album track. Just to pick up on a point that Craig said earlier, this was the world's first CD single, not Walk of Life.
Yeah.
This was produced in 1985 as a 4-track CD single.
For promotional use only, though.
No, it was available apparently. There were only 400 copies. It was alive in 85 and alive in 86. It was repressed in 86.
Oh, right, okay.
It goes for a lot of money on eBay and Discogs.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Around about 95 quid is the cheapest one at the moment.
Oh, that's doable.
Slightly off topic. This and Why Worry, put a 2-track single like that would do me.
Yeah.
Again,
I think for me, it's so much a Dire Straits track, because it starts off with that, the sound, and then the lyrics come in, and there's no drums to begin with, and then when it does kick in, it's the side stick. Yeah, it's the side stick. And he plays it really quiet, and it just builds and builds and builds, and it's got that whole kind of Telegraph Road style development of the song. It's a wonderful song for a really good album.
I mean, the lyrics are brilliant. The last lyrics of it are, but it's written in the starlight and every line in your palm. We're fools to make war on our brothers in arms.
Yeah.
Just stunning. Absolutely stunning. What's your theory?
Well, it's not a theory. So I'm assuming you've got Snowy White's debut album from 1983.
I don't know if I have, actually. No.
Right, there's a song on it called Bird of Paradise.
Oh, no. Bird of Paradise was a single.
Yep. And the guitar solo bits are almost identical. If you listen to the 2 tracks side by side.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the lyrics for this were written in 82, and the song structure, but it wasn't recorded until 84. Bird of Paradise was written in 83 and recorded and released in 83 on his debut album. Right. So there's a whole contention about whose bit came first and who wrote what and who stole from stole. But there are Reddit threads and YouTube videos and all sorts about, have you heard? They're different sounds. They've got different styles. You can tell it's not one ripping off the other, but the licks are almost identical.
Okay.
It's really quite stark.
If you agree with this theory, listeners, let us know in the Facebook chat. I'll have to go away and compare the two. Really, I've not heard that before. I'm aware of Bird of Paradise. It's not something I've listened to a lot, but There is, if you Google Bird of Paradise, there is a there, but the 2016, the fretboard. Did Mark Knopfler rip off Snowy?
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that Mike
Comment by a one Grey Tennick. No.
No. But it's interesting that Mikey should mention Floyd and David Gilmour, because obviously Snowy played with Roger Waters.
Yeah.
For a long time, doing a lot of the stuff. So there is that style to it. I'm not saying anyone ripped off the other. I'm just saying it's quite uncanny, the similarity at points between the two.
Yeah. One of the things I was going to mention about Why Worry, and I think it's one of the things that the sound that I honed in on must have been that Chapman stick that was used on the track.
Yeah.
Because there's that wonderful string work to it. And I forgot to mention that earlier. Yeah. It's absolutely wonderful. And while he's just talking there, I've just, because I've never really paid attention to who actually produced the album with Mark Knopfler, and it was Neil Dorfman. Now, I thought I knew that name somewhere, so I've done a little bit of digging, and he actually was engineer on the Tears for Fears album, Everybody Loves a Happy Ending.
Okay.
Who's the engineer on that?
Well, after this, though.
Oh, well after it, yeah.
Yeah.
I just knew I knew the name from somewhere, and I couldn't quite picture it.
Well, according to his Wikipedia page, he's best known for his work with Dire Straits, Bruce Hornsby, Mark Knopfler, Paul McCartney, and Sting.
So he was the engineer for Dire Straits and Mark Knopfler before he was the producer for Brothers in Arms. He did Cal, he did Love Over Gold.
Right.
Did some Bruce Springsteen. I mean, he did a lot of engineering work, and I think, if I'm right, I think this was his actual first producing credit.
Don't know. I'd have to read.
Yeah, I think Brothers in Arms was his first producing credit. He done loads and loads of other stuff. He did some Brecker Brothers stuff. He did some Bruce Springsteen, Diana Ross, Bob Marley.
Is he down as producer or engineer? Because he got a Grammy for engineer for this.
So
album.
he's engineer and producer.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. But this was his first producing credit that I can see.
Okay. Should we talk about the look of the record, the sleeve?
Do you want an icon? Do you want an icon?
Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's an iconic sleeve, but does it actually fit the subject matter of the album for that? I mean, it's iconic, so it works. It is what it is, and everybody loves it. But does it really fit the subject matter? I don't know.
So I think the National Resonator guitar is used on, I think it's Right Across the River of the Man Too Strong, but it's also similar to a sound that he's used previously. So for me, it's very indicative of Mark Knopfler. And it's also very, so for me, although Right Across the River's got the sort of the African sounding or Caribbean sounding sounds as well, to me, in my head, it's Confederacy. It's like American Civil War and what have you, which that guitar has a sound for. That's kind of really twangy, resonating guitar piece for the.
Yeah.
For me, that's where it fits.
In my head, it's got like kind of a slide sound to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not based on any musical knowledge, just how I picture it sounding. I think it's a very strong image. It's quite simple, but it's a really strong image. I'm
also gutted I didn't buy the didn't win the miniature.
No, me neither.
I think it's a sort of image that resonates quite well with the US as well. I think, you're getting what it says on the tin, essentially. Yeah. Maybe not in its sentiment or lyrical content, but certainly in its musical content. It's like, I mean, you're going to buy this album. This is what you're going to hear.
They're not renowned for their covers, Dire Straits, are they? They don't. No, they're not. They don't go for high art covers. I think it's a very simple picture, but quite a iconic image.
I think that's what I was saying earlier on, though. It was like, I think with Dire Straits, it's all about the music. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is secondary. Yeah, we're not in it for the looks. We're not in it for the fame or how we are presented. It's about the music.
yeah, look at the cover of Making Movies. It's what just awful. But
It is.
anyhow, formats. Anyone?
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
Well, record, CD. What do you want?
Was
Well,
it of
initially it was released CD and cassette with the long forms, and then the vinyl with the cut down tracks, wasn't it? Initially?
Yeah.
The CD was stunning. It was the reason I ended up buying my first stacked hi-fi system. I bought a Technics stack system with Wharfdale speakers just so that I could hear this.
But it wasn't the go-to CD for records, like for hi-fi shops and stuff
Yes,
like
it
that.
was. Yeah, it was. I didn't hear the vinyl for years. I'm gutted I didn't buy. Was it the 30th anniversary that had the full version on it, the double album version?
Still available, Gray. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I'll probably end up buying it. Not that I need it, because I've got the single. I've got the original version in the cover in the record collection at the back.
Your wife doesn't listen to this podcast.
No, she doesn't. So I'm safe. Although she is downstairs, no, she won't be hearing me. I have to say, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about any other versions, but if you jump into the 40th,
Well, I'm not yet, because there's a 20th anniversary.
There was,
which
yeah.
was an SACD.
Yes.
Which was the first surround mix of this I heard, and it's probably my preferred version, if I'm honest.
Any particular reason, or
It's, well, yes, which we'll come on to in just a minute when
It's a very well balanced
the
mix, isn't it?
Atmos mix, yeah. It's in a lovely super jewel case, with the rounded corners. You can still get this now. It's widely available. It's only about 15 quid. And it's probably the best sounding version of the record that I've heard. But now on the 40th anniversary, well, the 30th anniversary, Gray, was the
double vinyl. There was a double vinyl that was released. So it's the long versions of the songs on a double LP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the Abbey Road half speed mastered one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm currently looking at a certain shop's website.
Don't press it, boy. Don't press it. Step away.
We need to get other people on. We need to get other people onto this podcast that we can convince to buy shit, so we don't have to do it.
The 40th anniversary, there's a triple CD, which has got the remastered album and a gig from San Antonio in '85, I think it is, right?
So the remaster from that, which year remaster?
Well, I don't know, because I can't see. It's too dark now.
2023.
Thank you.
Right.
And this is my gripe.
Go on,
I'm
then.
going to get into it now. So the 40th anniversary editions actually don't, other than the Super Deluxe edition, which is separate.
That's got a new gig in it. 2 CD gig, which has never been released before.
I don't care. I really don't
care, because it's brilliant.
I'm sorry. If you're going to release a vinyl edition for the 40th anniversary and you're going to release a CD for the, do something with it. Don't just rehash somebody else's previously released masters.
The vinyl box has got the live gig in it. So stop your whining.
So in the different versions they've done, I take it they've never done something like what Warner's do, where they do like rarities and stuff on the release.
No. There are very few Dire Straits rarities. There's a few B-sides and things. About 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe they re-released all the albums in a box, and that was a chance to tie up all the little odds and sods and put on a bonus disc, and they didn't do that. So like I said, there's some B-sides that aren't on CDs still. I don't think Knopfler's really got any interest in it. I think these have all been driven by the record company.
Yeah. I mean,
the Super Deluxe edition, Blu-ray audio, came out this year. I think as we're speaking, it's still available.
It is. I'm looking at it just now, 25 quid.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Graham?
So I'm going to start at the bottom. It's got the original vinyl stereo mix.
Yeah, the short.
So the short versions of the songs. It's got the original CD stereo mix, so you get both versions, long and short, from the original mix. You've got Can I just confirm, when did this SDE come out? When did the SACD come out?
Oh, 20 years ago.
2005. Yeah, so it's got the 2005 5.1, so it's got that 5.1 mix on it. And then it's got an instrumental mix of the Atmos.
Well, the instrumental's never been out before.
No, it's never been out before.
So that's brand new. So you were saying there was nothing new.
No.
Ever been an instrumental mix?
But it wasn't done for this year. It was done for something else in 2022. So they're both 2020. The Atmos are both 2022 remixes.
Yeah.
And remastered.
But it's never been released.
It's never been released. Okay, but this is the only one that does that. The others don't.
What do you mean?
There's not. They're not remasters of the album. Yes, they've got the live tracks on them.
Yeah.
But they don't. It's a previous master of the album. It's not even the 22 master. Whereas that's the reason I went for the Blu-ray, is because it's got the 2022 masters on it. And to be honest with you, I listened to the 2005 5.1 more.
Yeah, which is the SACD mix.
It's the SACD mix. It's a far better balanced mix.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The actual title track, "Brothers in Arms" on the Atmos, is gobsmacking.
But the placement of some of the other stuff on the other tracks is weird, isn't it?
It beggars belief. It's like, what were you thinking?
Knopfler's vocals are very low in the
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, I've got some information on your 5.1 mix from the Super Audio CD. It was actually Mark Knopfler and Bob Ludwig.
It's the best mix. It's the best mix of. I'm really disappointed in the
Atmos
mix.
Yeah.
With some of the stuff that's come out recently.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think
compare that to say the disc that I've been really impressed with recently is I don't think you've got this, Gray, is Elton John's Diamonds. It's wonderful.
Oh, it's just so special.
Have you got it?
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it? It's really good.
It is ridiculous.
Really good.
And the other one that I thought was really good was he does his own cover album. Keep talking. It'll come to me in a second.
You've got some editing to do here, Craig.
As ever, but I think it's such a shame for such an iconic album to not get like a definitive version. And see, I keep going back to the Warner's kind of stuff from earlier, where you've got a documentary, you've got the videos, you've got live footage and things like that they're properly crammed full of bonus material. And considering how much bonus material there must be for this album, would be absolutely outstanding.
Well, you've also got to have the personnel behind it as well. If the artists themselves don't want it to happen, then it won't happen.
And to be honest with you, it's sold shitloads anyway, hasn't it? So why?
Yeah.
They're not struggling for sales.
And I think the album I was talking about was Trevor Horn's Echoes.
Oh, right, okay.
Some of it is really, really clever. Some of it, I'm like, why the hell did you do it? But the way it's done is so good.
Okay.
Should
we talk briefly about the Brothers in Arms tour?
You can do.
So the tour began in April '85 in Croatia, and it ended in April '86 in Sydney, Australia.
Wasn't there something like stupid, like 200 odd dates on it?
There was a lot. 248 dates there were.
In the space of a year, that is
Yeah, and they actually played Wembley Arena on the day of Live Aid as well.
Yeah, because that's why they
were on a run of gigs at the arena, weren't they? Yeah.
That's a ridiculous amount. That's like an Iron Maiden tour. That is just absolutely shocking.
Well, it's pretty good, isn't it? Average set list for the gig was Ride Across the River, Espresso Love, One World, Romeo and Juliet, Private Investigations, Sultans of Swing, Why Worry, Walk of Life, Two Young Lovers, Money for Nothing, Wild West End, Tunnel of Love, Brothers in Arms, Solid Rock, and then Going Home, theme from Local Hero.
So did you get to see them at all, John, or not? Or was it?
I never did. I had my chance on Love Over Gold and didn't go, and I've regretted that forevermore. I do. They reissued a nice live box set last year with a couple of unreleased things in it, and an expanded Alchemy and an expanded On the Night, which is great. And I have to say the live gig from the 40th anniversary of Brothers in Arms is really good. It's got a cracking version of Wild West End that goes into Tunnel of Love, and the two together are about 30 minutes of music. It's just stunning. Straits live were great.
So have you seen them great all or not?
Do you know what? I never did, and I'm gutted because a friend of mine, so he's same age as me, his granddad took him to see them on the Love Over Gold tour, and he never stopped talking about it, and he still hasn't. He still takes the piss out of me, and he says it was a phenomenal experience. Even as a 15-year-old kid, it was a phenomenal experience. And like I've said, hearing them live, there's so much more to it live than there was on the record, and yet there's loads on the record. When the live vibe, they were a live band. I know there's a lot of studio production, there's a lot of stuff, but they were, and I don't know why I never went to see them. I've no idea. It was like, there was so much other stuff at the time, I think.
Just the progression of Straits, though, gone from this tight 4-piece. By the time they're on this tour, there's like 7 or 8 musicians on stage. It's a completely different kettle of fish.
Getting a bit like Floyd in the mid-80s.
Yeah, a bit. And I think probably Knopfler felt the need for that. They were in arenas, they had to have more to look at,
Big sound as well,
yeah. Yeah. What about the album's legacy? It's one of the best-selling albums of all time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's regarded, and I think I agree with it. It's one of the defining albums of the 80s.
Yeah,
it really is.
Where does it rank in Dire Straits albums for you? I'm gonna have to come back to him. He's having that pregnant.
I'd say third.
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 Behind what?
Love Over Gold and Making Movies.
Okay, that's cool. I can't ask you to because you don't.
No.
What about yourself?
Don't have a ranking.
What about yourself?
I would have to say I'd probably have to say it's fourth because I really I love Communicate. It's a very underrated album as Communicate for me.
Oh, actually, now you mention it,
Communicate is a brilliant record. The first one's great, but it's of its time.
So I think like Brothers in Arms is head and shoulders above Dire Straits.
Yes, but then there's things on Every Street. The title track on Every Street is brilliant.
Yeah, because there's only one album after this, wasn't there?
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about where the band were and the changes at the time. For me, this is almost where it became a solo band. Because
because I think I've tried to get into Knopfler solo. There's not enough going on for me.
I totally agree, and this
not rock. It's
this was where it became an autocracy. Well, apparently it had been an autocracy for a while, which is part of the problem, but very much an autocracy. That like, this is my album, this is my sound, this is what I want us to sound like. And I'm not surprised there was only one more album. And I read a really good article because it not on the. Did they tour on Every Street?
Yeah.
It was at the last night. The last night, on one night it was on, because on the last night on Every Street, they said thank you and good night, and that was it. With the band's disbanded, done.
Right.
And I think that was coming from this. I think it became something he didn't want it to be.
Yeah.
He's
an incredible musician. He really is, and their rise to fame from that first album is just brilliant.
Do you think, just speaking of what you just said there about they got so high and became what they became? Do you think them splitting up with that is quite similar to how possibly Gilmour felt about Floyd at the end, where after Division Bell, that was enough of doing the round the world twice kind of thing? And
yeah, exactly. I think it would become that kind of the albatross around your neck. It's like, it's great because it makes you money, it gives you the ability to do what you want musically and what have you, but you've got to feed the beast. You've got to do that however many nights and all that kind of stuff, and play all these enormodomes that you lose the personality of the gigs and you lose the personality of the shows. It's like, I don't understand. Financially, you can bring it on, but I don't understand how a musician can enjoy playing to people that are 350 feet away that they can't see, who can't see them.
Yeah, but I mean, Knopfler's back at that level now, isn't he? He plays arenas.
Yeah,
he doesn't shy away from the Straits material. He does. he does come back to it and play it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not my favourite Dire Straits record. I think we made that clear at the top. It's neither of our favourite Dire Straits record. But it's a great record for what it is. And it's very much anchored to that point in the 80s, mid-80s, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Do you think, just speaking on, Mark Knopfler playing, still playing bigger and possibly bigger venues, I think he's suffering. Well, suffering's not really the word. Something similar to Roger Waters, where he's get to the point now where there's more and more people want to go and see him because they don't know how long they're going to get to go see him and they want to hear the songs live.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he's got a hardcore of fans who are still with him and love all his film work and his solo work. I don't know how many albums he's had now. He's still banging albums out. So
yeah. I've not read any interviews with him. I don't know how he feels about it, but I know sort of even David Gilmour was like, for his solo, was it the last solo tour? He says he doesn't want to be playing the Pink Floyd material.
Well, Knopfler still does occasionally go.
But that's what I'm saying. I said
stuff, but
I'm just saying. I wonder if he does it because he feels he has to.
No, I don't think so.
Right. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong on this, but on a recent tour, he played Telegraph Road.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But anyhow, we've talked about Brothers in Arms, and we've talked about it a lot. But what do you think about Brothers in Arms? We'd love to hear your thoughts about it in our Facebook group. If you'd like to come and give us more suggestions, although we have had lots of suggestions about albums to cover, thank you for those. But if you'd like to suggest some more, or if there's an album that you particularly feel passionate about and that you'd like to come on the pod, please get in touch. The Facebook group is the place to go, and it is called, Craig?
Planet Marzipan presents Planet Music.
There you go. Anyhow, all that remains to be said is thank you very much to Mikey K.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
Thank you, Mikey. Thank you much to Graham Tennick.
I think you needed to support this one, didn't you? Yeah, thanks.
I did. Thank you for turning up, mate. He wasn't here when we started, folks. Just been me and these two who've never heard of Dire Straits. Yeah. And that was a Chris Rea album we were doing. And thank you to Craig Houston.
Will I get my ears cleared out for next time?
I don't know. I think it's too late, mate. If you've got to come back and say you like Live Killers before you gain any credibility on this podcast. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Take care.
And stay alive.
I want my MTV.
Classics. Thanks for listening
to Planet Music from the makers of Planet Marzipan.
If you like what you've heard, please like and subscribe, and maybe even join our Facebook discussion group.
You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com.